he may have some other problems. Because of that, he might have started some treatment prior to my study treatment. Since he started prior to my study treatment, he will continue that one. He'll start with a prayer. He start some treatment prior to my study treatment, and then he will continue during my clinical trial also. This is called prayer treatment. Sometimes some subjects during my clinical trial, during the treatment period, they may start taking some other treatment which is other than the study treatment. That we call it as a concomitant treatment. So, obviously, as a sponsor, I am very much interested. If somebody is taking this prior medication, started previously, before, but if he is still continuing, and if any subject started taking some other treatment, concomitant treatment during my clinical trial, is this prior or concomitant treatments will interfere with my study treatment, will mitigate with my study treatment. So, because of this concomitant prayer treatment, either my study treatment is going to get affected, maybe in a positive way or a negative way. As a sponsor, I'm very curious. I want to know that one. So, during the clinical trial, whichever the subjects taking this concomitant or prayer treatment, what is the treatment? What are the doses they are taking, how frequently they are taking, for what reason they are taking, from when they started that one, when they have stopped. I will collect all this information. Now this information comes under, what you call it as a prayer concomitant treatment, prayer and concomitant treatment. Prayer or concomitant treatment. So this is very important in the interventions. We need to understand particularly the safety of the treatment. We need to collect this information. Now, when the subjects are taking that kind of prior or concomitant treatment, we collect all this information onto the CRF sheet. Now, whatever information that you collected on the CRF sheet, now we are going to map that information into a domain called CM. So now how we collect this information? Say for example, again I'm taking one more example. This is my study treatment plan. The subject has started treatment here, study treatment. Just imagine he started taking the study treatment on 20th of January, which is nothing but RF studies or RFX studies, And he will take this treatment up to the 10th of April. So now the 10th of April, what you call it as an RF-ENDTC or RF-X-ENDTC. So there is a one subject, say for example 101. This 101 started taking the treatment from the 25th of January, and he took on 25th, 26th, 27th and 28th. He stopped on 28th of January. Now, how we collect this information? Some sponsors will collect this information. So since he started the concomitant treatment on 25th, he stopped on 28th. Some sponsors will collect this information as one record. But some sponsors, they will take each day as one record. 25th, they will take it as a one record. 26th, they will take it as a one observation. 27th as a one observation. 28th as a one observation. So we have two types of models. Some sponsors will take the same information as a 4 records. So some sponsors will take only as one record. But some sponsors, what they will do. I'll take one more example. Each started concomitant treatment on 25th. But on 25th, whatever the treatment is, the same treatment he has started, but then he started taking, 100 mg. Okay, on 25th and 26th, he has taken 100 mg, but on 27th, he went on to 200 mg. Same treatment, but 200 mg. On 27th and 27th and 28th, he has taken 200 mg, and again on 29th, he came down to, say for example, on 29th, he came to 100 mg. Now what they will do, they will take these two two days as one record, these 2 days as in a one record, and this one they will take it again one more record. So that means changing with the doses, they may take it as a different observations. Understand this one? So it's up to the sponsor's interest. So in whichever way they want to, they can take in that way. So now, how we can say that what is the structure of the Kanakal medication now? We'll see that one. So now we are discussing about the domain of Kanakal medication. You know, this Kanakal medication comes under which class now? This comes under interventions. Interventions. The domain that we are discussing is CM. But CM stands for concomitant medications. And what is the topic variable? Remember, the whole interventions, the common topic variable is TRT, treatment. But right now, in which domain we are in? We are in CM. So the topic variable is TRT. So in the next class, we'll discuss about exposure. It also comes under interventions. Then it is called EXTRT. Then we'll discuss about SU domain, SUTRT. So the common topic variable for all the interventions is TRT. Since we are discussing about the CM domain, it is the topic variable is CMTRT. And then once you're done with the topic variable, then structure. What the structure of that Kanakal medication? It is going to be one record per constant dosing interval or recorded intervention occurrence per one record constant dose interval or recorded intervention occurrence per subject. As I said, he took from record, but the same information I can take it as a 25, 26, 27, 28 as 4 records. If it is a constant dosing interval, so I can take this as only one record. Again, as I said, the same treatment, but if you're changing with the dose, I can take for each dose as a one record again. So it's up to the sponsor. That's why the structure is one record per constant dosing interval or recorded intervention occurrence per subject. This is the structure. And once you're done with the structure, and finally, the purpose is always tabulation. The purpose is tabulation. And the location is always, what the location? CM what? XPT. XPT is the location. So then we'll see what are the variables that we can see in concomitant treatment. The first variable is going to be always, do you know what is the first variable? The first one is always study ID. You know that one study ID is study identifier, character variable, required variable, and identifier variable. Okay, now once you're done with the study ID, then the second variable is domain. Domain abbreviation, character variable, required variable, identifier variable, and what value we can find in the domain? We can find CM, because it's a CM domain. And then we'll have a third variable, USUBJ ID. Always use subject ID from now onwards. So again, we started with the general observation class. In all the general observation class from now onwards, the third variable is going to be U subject ID. So unique subject identifier, character variable, required variable, and identifier variable. And you know that when U subject ID is a concatenated product of study ID, site ID, subject ID, separated by hyphen symbol or forward symbol, forward slash. Unique subject ID uniquely identifies subject across all studies and across submissions of all applications. I told you one subject may involve multiple studies for the same product, or one subject may involve in different sites of the same clinical trial. So when he is involving different sites. If the different sites generate different subject ID, then there is a chance of having the same subject multiple records, multiple IDs. To avoid such confusion, we generate a unique subject ID by concatenating study ID, site ID, and the subject ID. Understand this one? It is always a character variable, required variable, and identifier variable. Now, once you're done with the use subject ID, the next variable will always be now onwards, so it is going to be sequence variable. Now, since we are in CM domain, it is a CM sequence. CM sequence is a numerical variable, it is an identifier variable, and it is always a required variable from now onwards. In all the general observation class, the fourth variable will be sequence variable. Because in general observation class, there is a chance of having multiple observations for one subject. Say, for example, I'll take an example. There is a subject called 101. Okay, this 101, during the clinical trial, you know what he did? From 25th to 28th, he got fever, so further he took dose 50. In February, from the February 3rd to February 7th, you know what he did? He took, say, for example, cetirizine or something again. The same subject again in the March month, from the 10th of March to 15th of March, he took some painkiller or something. And again the same subject from the 25th of March to 27th of March, he took some medication for the migraine. So that means the same subject has taken multiple treatments, multiple concomitant treatments during the clinical trial. So this one I should get as one observation, second observation, third and fourth observation. So since one subject having a multiple observations, we have to create a unique integer value for all the observations which comes under one subject. So I'll create a sequence number 1 for this one, sequence number 2 for this one, sequence number 3 and sequence number 4. So sometimes a subject may have a multiple concomitant treatments, 10, 15, 20 also. So since the structure is one record per constant dosing interval or a recorded intervention occurrence per subject, I should take this as a 4 records for 101 subject. Now, to avoid the confusion, we have to provide a sequence number, and this is how I'm going to provide. So sequence number is always a numerical variable. It is an identifier which identifies the records of each and every subject, and then it is a required variable. You know already how to generate the sequence number. We have seen how to generate the sequence number in the comments domain. Clear this one, everybody? By using a first dot variable, by using a return statement, we can generate the CM sequence. Very, very important interview question during the interview of STDM. Then once we're done with the CM sequence, the next variable will be CM group ID. What the group ID will do? By the way, group ID is a character variable, it is an identifier variable, and it is a permissible variable. To group together all the related observations within the subject, we are going to use a group ID. So, if you have any concept, say for example, within one subject, I have a multiple treatments. So within, say for example, these all 4 concomitant treatments belongs to one subject only. In this, if you have any general medication, I want to put everything as one group. If you have a gastrointestinal disorders treatment, I want to keep it one group, or central nervous into one group, cancer therapy into one group. So if you want to group it together within the subject, now we are going to use the group ID. It is a character variable, identifier variable, and it is a permissible variable. Once you're done with the group ID, the next variable that we have is CM sponsor ID. It is also character variable. It is also identifier variable. It is also an identifier variable, and it is also a permissible variable. You know, you already know that one, whatever the information that you collected on the CRF sheet, later we enter the data into the database. We extract the data from the database in the form of raw data sets. From the data sets, we are going to create the STDM final data set. To connect my STDM final data set with the database, the sponsor will maintain some sponsor related variables. So to identify the records in the database. So whatever the codes that has been mentioned in the database to identify the final data set with the data present in the database is going to maintain some IDs, and those IDs comes under now CM sponsor ID. It is always a character variable, identifier variable, and it is always permissible variable. Okay? To show the connection between the database where we have the raw data with the final data set. For cross-reference purpose, we maintain the sponsor ID. It is a permissible variable, and if it is given that, we'll take it, otherwise we don't need to worry about the sponsor ID. Now once you're done with the sponsor ID, the next variable will be topic variable, which is CMTRT. Whatever the treatment that we have reported onto the CRF sheet, now that information we collect into CMTRT. It may be a treatment, it may be a therapy, it may be medication. So any information, treatment, medication, therapy related information, whatever information that you collected onto the CRF sheet, the CRF sheet reported term will come onto CMTRT. So most probably this is going to be a brand name, and most probably this is going to be a verbatim name. You know what you mean by verbatim? Verbatim means a local colloquial language. In the local language, whatever the term that we have coined for that treatment or medication, we collect that information as the CRF, exactly the same information, now we put into CMTRT. Say for example, a patient has gone to hospital for some issue, and the doctor is given some, medication. Say for example, for fever, he has given Dolo 50. Now since he has given Dolo 50, whatever the brand name, treatment name or medication name that we have, this Dolo will come into CMTRT. Understand this one? No. Once we have CMTRT, in India it is very famous, everybody knows about the Dolo. But how an everyday person will come to know about the Dolo? Here we have a very much proprietary name, brand name. We write whatever information we have given as a prescription, that information is coming on the CRF sheet, a verbatim name, that information will collect on the CMTRT. So this is a local brand, everybody knows here in this hospital, maybe in this city, but so every person may not know that one. Now what we need to do, whatever the generic term we have for this Dolo, or a chemical name that we have to generate that generic term, a standardized term, and we should put the standardized term into the next variable called CMD code. What the CMD code is going to have? The CMD code will have a generic standardized term equivalent to the CMTRT. Then how to generate this decoded term, standardized term? To decode or to get a standardized decoded term from the verbatim name, we will use a dictionary called WHO Drug Dictionary. By using the WHO Drug Dictionary, what we are going to do? We are going to derive a generic standardized term and we'll put that information in the CMD code. So when you go for an interview, tell me what dictionary that you have used for the concomitant treatment. And you are going to say, according to the CDC guidelines, we have used WHO Drug Dictionary. Some people call it as a food dictionary. Right now, we are using a version 15.1. This is the current version that we are using. Understand this one, everybody? So by using WHO Drug Dictionary, you may have a n number of dictionaries, but according to CDC guidelines, we should use only this dictionary. By using this dictionary, we'll convert CMTRT into standardized word CMD. Understand this one, everybody? But sometimes converting CMTRT into CMD code is very difficult. We have to generate an intermediate term between the CMTRT and CMD code. To hold that intermediate term, we have one more variable called CM modify. A CM modify is a modified term of CMTRT. From the modified term, in future, we can derive the decoded term. Understand this one? So, the modifier, CM modifier is going to have a modified term, an intermediate term between the verbatim name and the decoded term, and it will have this modified term, and the CM modifier comes under it is a character variable, it is in a synonym qualifier, it is in a permissible variable. Okay? In the same way, CM decode is also character variable, and it is also synonym qualifier because whatever the verbatim name that we have taken in the CMTRT, we are generating equivalent standardized word. So that's why this is modify and decode are synonym qualifiers for CMTRT. And this is also permissible variable. Permissible variable. But CMTRT, you know that one, this is a character variable, this is a topic variable. Since it's a topic variable, it is always required variable. Understand this one, everybody? Character variable, topic variable, and required variable. Now, once you're done with the CMTRT, CM modify, and the CM decode, then we have a grouping qualifier. So, one is a CM category, then we are going to have CM subcategory. What are the category and subcategory? Both are character variables, both are grouping qualifiers, both are permissible variables. And the CM subcategory is also character variable, this is also grouping qualifier, and this is also permissible variable. What is category and subcategory will do? Category will categorize, will group all the observations across the subjects. I told you group ID will group together observations within the subject, but category will categorize, will group related observations across the subjects. Say for example, just imagine I have a concomitant treatment data. I want to know, say for example, there are 500 subjects taken the concomitant treatment, different treatments. Now what I want to, once I have a data set with me, I want to know like this one. I do not want to keep the data subject-wise. I want to sort the data. I want to group the data based on the concomitant treatment. Say for example, I want to keep all the general concomitant treatment as a one group, all the gastrointestinal disorders related concomitant treatment as a one group, all the separate central nervous system as a one group, respiratory as one group, circulatory as one group, immunology one group, cancer treatment as a one group. Or maybe I told you concomitant treatment is just a name, but in a concomitant treatment we have two types of information, prior and concomitant. I told you what you mean by prior. If somebody started before the clinical trial, that comes under prior. What exactly concomitant means? One of the treatment started, one of the clinical trials started, if they have taken, then it is called as a concomitant. Now I want to group together all my data, prior as one group, concomitant as a one group. If you want to group or sort the data by such criteria, by that means where we can find that information now, we can find that information in CM category. So if you sort our data by CM category, the data will get sorted across the subjects, not within the subject. If you have any further category, that further category will comes under CM subcategory. Say for example, if CM category contains like cancer treatment or something, within the cancer treatment, CM subcategory is going to have what kind of cancer? It is a hormonal therapy, or is it a radiation therapy, is it a chemotherapy? So if you have any subcategory under the category, that information will come into CM subcategory. So both are character variables, both are grouping qualifiers, both are permissible variables. Understand this one, everybody? So these are the variables that we have. We'll see the remaining variables in tomorrow's class, and I'm going to stop this one here. Okay?